Hey, what's going on, guys? I didn't really want to make this video because I like keeping everything positive on the channel, but I feel like I need to talk about a few things, and I'm going to be doing a Modern Warfare 2 review as well as the future of the channel. If you're interested in the future of the channel, the timestamp is right here. To start, I think that Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer experience is probably by far one of the worst that I've ever played. With the new price tag of $70 or $100 for the Ultimate Edition, this game feels unfinished, as pretty much every Call of Duty has in the past. Me being a big fan of Modern Warfare 2019, it definitely had its issues as well. As I go through this review, a few parts will look like I'm repeating myself, but that's because most of these topics all blend in with one another. If you've watched the live streams, you definitely know that I'm not a fan of MW2. As much as I've been playing COD for the past 3 years, I wanted this game to succeed, because this was the main focus of the channel and I've always been a fan of Call of Duty, and I could not have been more excited to hear that Modern Warfare 2 was releasing, as my mind rushed back to those amazing memories in 2009 when I stayed up for the midnight release and skipped school the next day. It just brought back so much excitement. I wasn't sure to expect that or a sequel to Modern Warfare 2019. And all they did in this title was just push out the name MW2, just like they did in Black Ops Cold War, for greed. Nothing more than that. Some may say that the title's not a big deal, but it's the fact that you're selling others on the expectation they're getting a remake of an old title or a continuation of Modern Warfare 2019, but in fact you're getting neither. So by the time you want to refund the game, you're no longer eligible to. Before I can even start the review, this is the current state of Modern Warfare 2. There's a massive desync, and you're not alone thinking that you're just missing your shots. It's disgusting to see that this game is a $70 price tag and has more issues than a game that costs $19.99. Here you can see a control where I shoot the target 5 times. Then I go automatic mounted, not moving from the target center chest, and in the top left corner of the screen, you can see that my accuracy is dropping. By myself, shooting a dummy target sitting still, the game has desync. There are multiple clips that I have of my weapon, bullets going straight through people. I don't know how to explain it other than the fact that the servers are so bad that even a private match, I know that other Call of Duties and other games have these massive server issues as well, but nothing is as bad as these servers are. Before I continue on a rant of how awful the servers are, how can this game call itself Modern Warfare 2 when it isn't, once again, a sequel of Modern Warfare 2019 or 2009? 13 years ago, and let's just remember, 13 years, which is 13 Call of Duties ago, Modern Warfare 2 was released. This had amazing identifiable maps with map voting, iconic weapons such as the intervention that defined quickscoping, the ACR, and the UMP. You can obviously say that COD 4 had that as well, but I think that really quickscoping picked off and it became a staple part of the community when the intervention was released in 2009. None of these are in the game, and the only thing that I can imagine is they will use this again if they release any of these weapons for Battle Pass greed. In Modern Warfare 2009, they also had pro perks, something that everybody loved, with this amazing prestige system, and even going far back as Modern Warfare 2019, where prestiges were no longer a thing. It was so disappointing to see that we just have this continuation of just increased ranks that mean nothing, and they reset after each season. These perks are probably the worst designed perks that I've ever seen, and it's so weird that you can't just keep your 3 perk system that everybody's loved. I know that change is good, but once again, they've changed this for the worse. Before I start on the world's worst map design ever, next is the sound design. And here's a clip of the sound. I have tried everything. I have tried changing everything that I can. In this clip, you're gonna hear that shots are getting shot to my left side, but I think because of how far and distant away they are, that honestly, they sound like they're on a completely different map, but to me, they sound like they're outside, completely out of the building. Meanwhile, somebody's running up behind me right now, and 2 people are running up behind me, and I can't hear a single thing. I used bass boosted. I changed every setting that I could for my audio. hallway behind me, and one guy's running up the fucking stairs, bro. What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? In the beta, this game had amazing sounds. They were just heard a little bit too far away. All they needed to do was reduce the overall like projection of footsteps and guns by about 25%, I would say. Instead, they gut the entire system and just reverted to an old sound system. Players can once again be running right behind you with no audio, and other times it sounds like an AC-130. It's so inconsistent, and that's the part that I get aggravated with. Is if it was consistently no noise, then I would just get angry that there is no noise. But the fact that sometimes you hear it and sometimes you don't. All right, so my first issue with the maps, and I'm sure everybody agrees with me, Call of Duty's done a pretty awesome job at map design. In a game with about 10 maps, usually 8 out of the 10 are grand slams and are always fun to play, and they usually see themselves in a future Call of Duty. But in Modern Warfare 2, there is no creative map design. One is an obnoxious highway that's just straight with a million cars. That's absolutely awful to play. Other maps, and mostly every single map, is just a box. Everybody fights in the center of that box, and nobody goes outside the box. If you spawn outside, you run inside. One map has a little bit of water, and other than that, everybody just kind of runs into the center and fights in one building. It's not by choice, it's by design. These maps are so uncreative, and I don't understand how they bragged about development time for 4 years on this game, and they only produced us 4 maps, other than they have maps in the background that they'll release with season passes that everybody has to pay for. Compared to 2009, we got map packs, guaranteed every season, 4 new maps for only $15, which is the price of battle passes. Now, even going back to Modern Warfare 2019, we get maybe 1 multiplayer map, and we're hoping that it's good. We used to be able to hold these developers to kind of some sort of integrity by making good maps, because to get our $15, the maps had to be of quality, and in fact they were. In 2009, once again, we got iconic maps like Invasion, Wasteland, Overgrown, Terminal, Afghan, Derailed, and so many more. Maps like Terminal, which is one of the most iconic Modern Warfare 2 maps, is too big compared to what Modern Warfare 2 on any map is currently produced. None of the current maps are creative or bring enjoyment to play. I feel like a drone every time I load into one because they all feel and play the same way. The way they design these maps is like a small free-for-all style. No large maps, no medium-sized maps, everything is just a small compact map. In Modern Warfare 2019, you had Arklov Peak, Grozny Raid, and these were really big maps that really changed the pace of the game, making everything fresh and exciting, especially from a Search and Destroy player, and that's mostly what I played. That is kind of how I gauged on how every map played. Some were small, some were medium, some were large, and it always changed your loadout depending. Some maps I'd use snipers, some I would still use snipers just because I enjoyed quickscoping. But in Modern Warfare 2, everything's the size of Rust, and it's just boring and linear. Now let's talk about the movement and the future movement in Warzone 2.0. You can already see how much slower the movement is in this game compared to Warzone 1.0. 3 years of players learning a certain way to play Warzone and why they played it and why they continued. Most of the showcasings that you see on social media, from TikTok to Twitter to YouTube and Twitch, is the movement and what players have done in practice and learned on everything that they've learned. Mostly these Call of Duties were based on movement, and a lot of players enjoyed it. That's why the Warzone system never changed. That's why the other CODs did, but the Warzone system stayed intact. Now, after 3 years of players practicing, they've basically turned it from Call of Duty Warzone 1.0 to just PUBG. In multiplayer, you get rewarded for playing slow. You don't get rewarded for running around, as you get punished with your ADS speed and you can't slide around corners and shoot anymore. And that's exactly how it's going to feel in Warzone 2.0. If there's an enemy sitting in a building, you're not going to run in as much as you used to. In the beginning you might be able to, but camping is rewarded. It's rewarded more than ever. After playing Modern Warfare 2 and then swapping back and reinstalling Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone 1.0, you could feel how liberating it was to run around and slide, and everything just felt normal again. This game has like put shackles on us. I challenge you to go and play one of the old titles. I do challenge you to play one of the old titles because I think that you'll understand my point of view. Comments that I've seen is that the game is less sweaty, and those are the same people that spend more time on Reddit complaining about every video game than actually playing them. The players who review Modern Warfare 2019 and said the movement was too fast are also some of the same people who stopped playing after a month because really all they do is chase the flavor of the month, but then they went and played Warzone for multiple years, even though Modern Warfare 2019 is the same exact thing. And taking away fluid movement is like taking away sliding and abilities from Apex. It's a horrible decision, and now just imagine that. Imagine how slow it would be in Apex if you couldn't slide, you couldn't use any sort of movement abilities at all, and all you did was just run. That's how this game is going to feel. Now in Warzone 2.0, they've bragged about how this is the biggest map that they've ever created, and at the same time they've somehow destroyed the movement, making it even slower than it's ever been. The main reason why they made the movement this slow is because their multiplayer maps are the size of Tic Tacs compared to any of the previous titles. Next up is gunplay, and this first part may not pertain to everybody, but it's about quickscoping and sniping. As my favorite loadout is an SMG and a sniper, I've always loved the ability to run around and use my sniper to clear angles where SMGs are not as effective, and of course, let's not forget trick shots and no-scopes. In Modern Warfare 2, the maps are so small that there is no use for snipers, and with the flinch being 1,000 times stronger with multiple different ammo types that increase flinch, sniping is such a disadvantage, and it's disgusting in what they've done with sniping. Even doing simple 360s is almost impossible, as the maps I've said are so linear, and instead everybody's just using the SPR with iron sights. The maps are so small, once again, that the SPR with iron sights is typically all people need to use. And once again, I said this just a few seconds ago, but it's funny to me that they have 1,000 different scopes and yet no one uses a single optic because the iron sights are all they need. And let's not forget that the SPR is a marksman rifle, like the Kar 98 and the SPR from Modern Warfare 2019. They usually got hit markers because of the range, but because there is no range in Modern Warfare 2, sniping is a disadvantage. In Modern Warfare 2019, there was a huge community, and the community was once again growing on quickscoping it and sniping overall. And not only that, they use marksman rifles. They don't use snipers. Snipers are a significant disadvantage. They don't do any more damage, and the SPR is all they need to use. In Modern Warfare 2019, there was a huge community around quickscoping, sniping, and no-scoping. It was important, and they brought excitement to that community. And especially to me, when they got the movement and destroyed the maps, they pretty much destroyed that quickscoping part of the community that many of us loved. The other part of the gunplay review is everything else, starting off with utility. Other than flashes blinding you for half the match, the utility's actually not that bad. The multiple different options they had for grenades, I think it was unique and something I enjoyed. When it comes to the actual guns itself, I don't see many issues, other than the artificial recoil it ruins the experience of the game, and it's never been done in COD before. It makes some of the weapons obnoxious to shoot, and you don't get that same exact experience on controller as you do KBM. Controller aim assist also removes any sort of signs of flinch or recoil once you're on target. Many big streamers, such as Dr. Disrespect, have plugged in a controller and immediately said how much easier it was. While many controller players will celebrate the fact that KBM is less effective than controller, I never thought it was fair for someone who puts less effort and time into a game gets rewarded by a robot AI doing all the work for them. And when they lose a gunfight to someone who's been practicing every day, they complain. To get efficient at KBM, players go through aim training, practice, and take years to find their perfect sense. Controller has an AI do all of that for them, but that's a discussion for another video. I just thought that the aim assist and the anti-flinch mechanics that are on controller are not fair when KBM has to experience all of that fully. Now here's the final part, which is the future of the channel. For those of you who do care, I think I'm done with COD. I've tried really hard to enjoy this Call of Duty being such a search and destroy oriented channel. It's so difficult to say bye, as that's been my favorite aspect of Call of Duty, favorite aspect of FPS games in general, is that constant rush from CSGO to Siege to this. I've just always loved search and destroy, and it's always made me feel at home. If I don't enjoy something, then don't play it. The thing that I will miss is the community and everything that has come from it, from community games where we played on any Friday or weekend and had amazing times, to the charity events that I held. When it comes to Warzone, like I said, I thought I was going to hold out for it, but I think that just the way the community's going, I just not really my thing anymore, and I think I'm just going to find something new to do. So I do appreciate all of you and all your support. I'm going to be switching to probably Rust or Destiny 2, and I'll be listening to any recommendations. I understand that most of you that comment will say, I'll watch whatever you play, Doug. Don't worry about it. I'm here for you. But I definitely appreciate more feedback than just that, right? Like, if there's one game over another that you would like, definitely DM me or join the Discord or anything like that and say that, hey, I like this over that. Just because it kind of gives me a better understanding of where my viewers are, and I'm happily able to go to either, but your guys' feedback definitely helps motivate me to start making videos for something again. I appreciate all that you guys have done and all the support you've given me over these past 3 years as the channel's grown. I'll see you guys in the next video. Whatever it may be, it'll be the new game. You guys are amazing. Peace.